Now if you've played any Final Fantasy VI, you'll know that Sabin is impulsive and doesn't handle responsibility particularly well. His card does a really good job reflecting this because he isn't spectacular in the command zone. That being said, he is very interesting in that his Blitz ability lets you get around commander attacks by casting him repeatedly from your graveyard. Because we want to be doing this just about every turn on top of, playing other cards too, we will need the mana to do so. On top of a ton of mana rocks, we are running a big old pile of treasure generation. Currency Converter is quickly becoming a staple on this channel, and Sabin constantly fueling it gives it a little synergy buff in this deck. But Professional Facebreaker, Veronica, and Generous Plunderer get special shoutouts because they are humans. This will be important later. And yes, we are indeed running a lot of humans. Basically anything that overlaps with our game plan in the slightest. Inti gives Sabin Trample and gets us an extra actions off of discarded cards, as does Conspiracy Theorist, and Alexios provides a clock from somewhere besides Sabin. We have this little human support package with Urza's Incubator, not only severely reducing Sabin's cost, but also most of the creatures in our deck, as well as one of my favorite discoveries for it, Descendant's Fury. Blitz is gonna kill Sabin at the end of the turn anyway, so we might as well polymorph him into another human, right? Same principle applies to Industrial Advancement, but without the type of limitation. But the cherry on top, and the whole idea behind this human subtheme, is Pyre of Heroes. God knows I love me a good podline, and Sabin gives us a very silly one to follow. Sacking Sabin to the Pyre gives us a 6-drop human. We can always find Clive for a nice hand refill, but the funny line involves us grabbing Homura Human Ascendant. This guy sucks. But when he dies, we flip him into an enchantment that buffs Sabin up to a 6/5 double-striking flyer that we can pump up with Fire Breathing. If we untap our Pyre, either with our untap step or preferably Manifold Key or Sonic Screwdriver, and then sack Homura to it, that lets us get a 7-drop human. Who else could we grab but Angrath's Marauders, who doubles all of our damage? For anyone not doing that math, a 6/5 double-striking commander does 12 damage. That being doubled to 24 is instantly lethal. This is a slow, clunky, and very disruptible combo, but it plays into Sabin's ability and brings me so much joy when I pull it off that it has kind of become the main theme. If Mono Red had better tutors, I would be trying to pull this off every game, but alas, I really didn't want to run Game Changers for Gamble, and Reckless Handling, Magda, or Goblin Engineer can only take us so far. So at least until Mono Red gets more artifact tutors, which is kind of inevitable, Sabin is gonna stay an unreliable gimmick. Love you though, big man. Keep doing you.